Raymond Kingsley ripped the envelope with trembling hands, but the paper refused to tear neatly. He pressed harder. The edges crumpled, smoke curling faintly like it had a mind of its own. A wedding invitation stared back at him, elegant script declaring her name, his name barely legible beneath it. His chest tightened. 2 years. 2 years, and the universe decided to mock him today. He dropped the remnants. Letters always held power, too much power. Memories leaked into the sterile air of Kingsley Global Holdings' corner office. Her laugh, her stubborn glare, the way she'd whispered secrets only he was meant to keep. Now she was marrying someone else. Ben Carter's voice broke through, clipped, impatient. You look like a man trying to swallow a hurricane. Didn't answer. He barely saw Ben approaching, a coffee in one hand, judgment in the other. You're going to that wedding, aren't you? Ben said. Closure. You need it. Face it. I'll go. Muttered, tone flat, heart a chaotic drumbeat. But I'll bring a date. Ben's eyebrows lifted. A date? Who? Your reflection? The corner of Ree's mouth twitched. I want someone unexpected. Outside, on the busy street near his building, she waited. Anna. She sat cross-legged against a cracked wall, knees brushing trash-strewn pavement, nose in a hardcover book. Meditations. Ree's eyes narrowed. Most people in her shoes didn't carry philosophy. Most people didn't carry themselves like armor. She glanced up once, measuring him, unflinching. No pleading. No begging. Just calm scrutiny. You're not like the others, Ree said. Almost a statement, almost a question. Anna's lips curved slightly. The others. People who pretend they matter, Ree said. Who disappear when it counts. She closed the book. I'm still here. The conversation that followed was transactional, sharp-edged. He offered money, security, a night in elegance beyond her reach. She countered with rules, no questions about the past, no emotional entanglement, and no lingering beyond the wedding. Each word revealed boundaries etched by pain, by survival. Ree felt something crack inside, the sort of fissure money and influence couldn't seal. She surprised him. She challenged him. She held her dignity in the middle of ruin. Fine, she said finally. But remember, this is temporary. Temporary, he echoed, tasting the word like ash. By the next morning, Anna had transformed. The tattered hoodie and dusted jeans were gone. In its place, a tailored gown, precise and commanding, yet impossibly natural on her. She moved through the lobby like a shadow with purpose, attracting whispers without needing approval. Ree followed, half protective, half aware that her presence unsettled the polished crowd more than any business deal ever could. Hello guys, welcome to Ebony Billionaire Tales. Let's prove my girlfriend wrong and hit 1,000 subscribers. If you love African stories filled with emotion, family drama, and powerful comebacks, please subscribe, like, and share. Ree caught himself staring, the invitation still burning in his pocket. The first whispers of unease flickered at the edges of his mind. What if showing up with her didn't just turn heads, but tore everything he thought he controlled into pieces? The church doors loomed, gold filigree glinting in the morning sun, but Ree's steps felt leaden. Anna walked beside him, composed, heels clicking with precision, but he could see her eyes, alert, calculating. Every whisper, every sideways glance from guests ricocheted off her like a storm hitting glass. He should have felt relief, triumph even, standing there as the man who had moved on, showing her he'd conquered the heartbreak. But the moment the groom, Dave, turned, Ree felt his stomach knot. Dave froze, jaw tightening, eyes widening, not at him, but at her. Anna stiffened. Don't let him touch me, she whispered, low enough only Ree could hear. Her voice carried warning, and something darker, a memory she refused to explain, yet radiated like heat. The ceremony buzzed around them, laughter and floral perfume, but Ree felt the tension compress like a fist around his chest. Dave's gaze didn't shift. His smile was brittle, forced, hiding panic. And then came recognition, subtle but deadly. Ree noticed it first, the slight tremor in Dave's hand, the way his eyes darted to the ring on Anna's finger, then back to the crowd. Anna's jaw clenched. Why are you here? Dave asked finally, voice quiet but venomous. The question carried more than surprise. It carried fear, guilt, and the threat of revelation. I came, Anna said, calm but unyielding, Because some truths don't stay buried forever. The world narrowed. Whispers slithered through the pews. Some glanced at Ree with admiration, others with suspicion. None saw what he saw. The careful balance Anna held, poised between power and vulnerability, daring the past to strike, but refusing to bow. Ree's pulse quickened. The carefully constructed image of control, the billionaire, the victor, crumbled as he realized the woman at his side was a storm no wealth or status could shelter. He wanted to step forward, to protect her, but knew any gesture might ignite the fragile powder keg. A silence fell, heavy and pointed. Anna's gaze met Ree's for a brief second, an unspoken command, a question, a plea. Ree understood. Nothing about this wedding was safe. Nothing about this encounter would remain uncomplicated. Even as the vows began, Ree felt it. Every choice, every step, was already consequence-laden. This was no longer a night of appearances. This was survival, negotiation, and exposure wrapped in silk and gold. Dave leaned closer to Anna. Words exchanged under breaths. Threats. Lies. History. Ree didn't hear the details, but the undertone was clear. Her presence endangered them both. When the ceremony ended, Anna didn't wait for applause. She tugged Ree toward the car, urgency tightening every movement. "We leave. Now," she said, eyes scanning the crowd. Ree's mind raced. Protection, extraction, risk. Every instinct he'd buried under boardrooms and contracts screamed to act. He nodded, silent. They disappeared into the city streets, shadows among the spectators, the echo of whispered questions trailing them. And Ree realized, with a cold certainty, that the past had never truly let go. The hotel room was barely lit, city lights leaking through half-closed blinds. Anna paced, heels clicking against the marble floor, while Ree watched, tension coiling in his chest like a serpent. Every instinct screamed danger. Dave wasn't a man to forgive slights. He was a predator counting every misstep. "I need to know everything," Ree said finally, voice low. "Who is he? What did he do?" Anna stopped, turned, eyes sharp as knives. "You don't want the whole truth." "Not yet." Ree shook his head. "I do. I've protected businesses, empires, even lives. I can handle this." She studied him. A pause stretched, then she exhaled, almost a hiss. 6 months ago, my family was destroyed. Fraud, embezzlement, lies. He, Dave, made sure I vanished. No records. No trace. They thought I was dead. Me. The weight of her words fell on him. Ree's hands clenched the edge of the desk. Every detail, every corner of his controlled life, suddenly seemed fragile. "And the wedding today?" Ree asked. "Was it coincidence?" Anna's laugh was bitter, hollow. "Coincidence? No. A challenge. A reminder. He thought I'd never return. He thought he'd erased me completely." Her eyes softened for the briefest moment. Pain, betrayal, survival all coiled into that look. "And now you're here? And you brought me." Ree felt a surge of protective heat, raw and unfamiliar. But then came the sharp realization, this wasn't about him. It never had been. This was her life, her story. He could help, but only if he followed her rules. A knock on the door, sudden and urgent, made them both freeze. Ree's instincts flared. He moved to block the door. "Who?" "Police," a voice called. But the moment the door cracked, Ree saw the figure behind it. Dave, smug, dangerous, unafraid. Anna stepped forward, fearless. "You will not touch me," she said. Her stance was a warning, a blade of control and experience honed by months of survival. Dave smirked. Still alive. Still defiant. "You really should have stayed gone." Ree's mind raced. Every option seemed perilous. Retreat would expose them. Confrontation could end in disaster. Yet Anna's calm defiance made the decision clear. "Listen carefully," she said, eyes locked on Ree's. "We play this my way. We bait him, expose him, but we don't give him a single opening. Understand?" Ree nodded. The choice was irreversible. Step into her world fully, or walk away and leave her to the danger she had survived alone. He chose. By the time Dave left, smirking but suspicious, Ree knew there was no turning back. They were bound by circumstance, risk, and shared resolve. One misstep could destroy more than careers. It could cost lives. As Anna began outlining the plan, detailing where they would be visible, where they would be hidden, Ree felt something he hadn't felt in years. True fear, not of losing control, but of failing her. And in that fear, he discovered purpose. The night stretched on, strategy overlaid with tension, and a quiet understanding settled between them. From this point forward, every action would have consequence. Every choice carried risk, and there was no undo button for what was about to happen. The sun rose pale over the city, catching dust in the air like fractured glass. Ree drove in silence, Anna beside him, eyes fixed on the passing streets. They had executed the plan perfectly. Dave's kidnapping staged, police waiting, evidence recorded, but the victory felt hollow. Anna's expression was unreadable. "It's done," she said softly. "But nothing comes without cost." Ree swallowed, feeling the truth in her words. He had chosen to step into her life fully. He had risked everything. His reputation, his safety, even the fragile composure he clung to. And yet, as he glanced at her, he realized the permanent losses, the trust he could never return to innocence, the luxury of emotional detachment, the clean separation between business and life. At the hospital, Ree's accident had left him bruised, a reminder that control was always an illusion. Anna stayed, quiet but vigilant, the bond between them deepened by fear, struggle, and choice. No contract dictated this care, only the decisions they made together. Weeks later, as Anna reclaimed her family's company, Ree watched from the sidelines. She led with integrity, rebuilding not for revenge, but for justice. And she carried the echoes of her past like armor, transforming pain into strength. Ree learned to respect autonomy, patience, and the quiet power of watching someone heal on their own terms. Their wedding, months later, was small, intentional. Anna walked alone, radiant, unclaimed, the crowd hushed in awe. Ree knelt by choice, honoring her journey rather than asserting dominance. Every vow, every glance, whispered survival, respect, and partnership. Years passed. Kingsley Global Holdings displayed a plaque commemorating dignity and resilience. They gave quietly to shelters, supported survivors, and shared kindness with strangers. Ree and Anna's lives were no longer defined by who had been lost or betrayed, but by who they chose to be together. And sometimes, in the quiet streets of the city, Ree saw a homeless woman reading quietly against a wall. He remembered how everything had started with courage, survival, and the decision to act, not to be saved, but to fight and reclaim life. They had both lost things they could never regain. But in that loss, they found freedom. This one stayed with me. If it stayed with you too, subscribe, and tell me, where are you watching from?